Uber shares are down 3% today, and this may be your opportunity to take a Uber to the fast lane to financial freedom. So personally, I have over 120 shares of Uber. In a grand scheme of things, it's not a lot. But I've been buying Uber since December of last year, and I really got busy and really bought a lot of the shares in January of this year because Uber was one of my top stocks for 2025, amongst others that hit and did well. Well, Uber shares are down today, and we did get information, and it looks like this information came from the New York Times earlier this week, but it could lead to why Uber shares are down today. But Uber is being investigated by the New Jersey's Attorney General over the frequency of sexual violence during rides and the company's handling of such incidents. I believe in the report that I read, it even said it has like over 3,000 of these cases or incidents, either in the U.S. alone or worldwide. So this is definitely a very serious offense, but in the grand scheme of things, probably shouldn't hold Uber shares down for too long. I think Uber is really destined to hit $100, and it's been over $100. It just hasn't closed over $100 and really moved past them. I think it's probably going to take its earnings call in November 4th to be exact, as it says right now, to really push these shares higher over $100. But if you don't have any shares of Uber right now, this might be an opportunity for you to get in where shares were down off of its high of 101.99. I believe just recently of this week. Yeah, so we said today shares are down 3%. Past 5 days, they're down a little bit less than 1%. Over a month, they are actually up a little over 0.5%. And year to date, shares are up 59%. And like I said, I still believe there is plenty of room to run. So if you're someone who doesn't really invest in individual stocks and really don't have any idea what to look at, take a look at my community. It is All In Society, and in there there's a free option and there's a paid option. For the free option, you get access to these videos that I post, other information like news that I think is relevant or important for a lot of the companies that we are either invested in or that we're following on our watch list to potentially invest in the future. And then the paid version, you kind of follow anytime that I execute a trade, whether I'm buying or selling, I tell you guys in real time. And it's very, I think it's very advantageous for you to jump in to the paid version, especially if you trade options, because that's where I relay all of my option ideas. And I tell you again in real time when I'm trading options in that paid version. So the free version, you can get all the posts, you can see these videos and things of that nature, and just kind of see our mindset and ideas of how to navigate the stock market and investing in general. The paid version is where we get a little bit more in depth. You have the Fundamental Investing Playbook. It is a group of videos that I've collected and how to break down and open up a company and look at the ratios you need to look for and the numbers and the data you need to look at to determine whether a company is appropriately valued or maybe it's overvalued and over or undervalued at that current time based on how the shares are currently moving. And that has been key for my success in my retirement accounts, my long-term investing, and in my options trading as well. So definitely check out the Patreon. And then on YouTube, we have, if you're a beginner and want to understand options, if you don't understand options whatsoever, just think of it as a way to use a smaller amount of money to have. It's a lot riskier than it is to buying shares and just holding them all long term. Options, you're kind of in a sense or a race against time, or you can purchase time. And with our strategies, you can use a little bit of money opposed to what you would be using to buy a bunch of shares in a company. You use a fraction of that cost to invest in a bunch of shares and not actually own the shares. You're in a sense renting the shares, and you'll be able to generate passive income off of purchasing or renting out those shares in order to generate profit. I know it sounds confusing right now because I'm probably not the best at explaining it in a nutshell, but check out the video. It's about an hour long on YouTube. I guarantee if you check out that video, if you're interested, you jump in the Patreon, you'll definitely make some money. Patreon is only $10 per month. Anybody is in that Patreon, I guarantee they're getting more than $10 per month in value. But Uber is a great stock for you guys to look at, to jump in a long term buying shares, or if you like to jump into options. We just jumped into option play today. Again, if you were in the Patreon and your options trader, you would have got that trade exactly when we executed it. Okay, and to close, I just want to kind of go over some of the things we look at. Now we look at the indexes, the scoreboards, just to see how the market is moving overall. S&P 500 again notched a new all-time high today, 6,764, but actually closed lower today. The Nasdaq as well hit a new high, 23,062, but also closed lower today, really more flat than anything. The Dow closed lower today, down about 0.5%, and the Russell closed just over 0.5% lower today as well. So all the scoreboards, all the indexes closed lower today. Some of the options companies we have options in, you'll see a lot of the companies that we have options in are the same companies we are trading in long term in our long-term investing portfolios. NVIDIA had a nice day, up just shy of 2%. Amazon up 1%. That's nice. Amazon's been running. It looks like we got some momentum the past couple days. DraftKings. If you've been watching my videos, I've been pounding the table in DraftKings. It looks like we do have momentum. That's 2 decent days of positive gains. I think around 2 to 3% back-to-back days. That could be exactly what we're looking for. I'm still looking at the charts for us to blow past some levels that I think are kind of resistance right now. But we will see if we can blow past them tomorrow. It is Friday tomorrow, so that would be nice for it to finish the week strong and propel a little bit more momentum. DraftKings definitely was oversold. Meta put in some moves past couple of days today as well, up 2%. We already talked about Uber. We just got into a Google play. It's down today. We buy on discount, not buy at highs. So we'll watch things take off. And it's kind of made me sick. Google took off most recently once they some things changed in the overall story. I really can't show it here. It was probably just over a month ago when we saw that jump, but you can kind of see it right here, from 240, then jumped up to 251, and then went higher from there. So that was a nice little jump there, and I think the earnings will only make it shares move a little that much higher. But we jumped in a Google play today, kind of on the shorter term. And we also added another Uber play today. And then Palo Alto is down. Now, they were going to take it down. These are this is the all-in collective. 8 stocks. Right now it's 8. Sometimes we add, sometimes we subtract. But more than likely, we'll just be at these 8. We might throw DraftKings in here pretty soon if we get a little bit busier with shares or more options. But right now, the all-in collective is our top 8 stocks. So we have at least $10,000 invested or more in the company. So we've already talked. Meta was up today. NVIDIA is up today. Apple was down $1.50. Apple might be in territory for us to now start looking at. It's not now. It's only about $6 off of its high. So we need to come back a little bit more. But I do love Apple long term. Vertiv. I think this stock is due, and it looks like a lot of analysts are saying the same. This stock is due to move higher. Looks like analysts are raising their price targets. I've had, I want to say, shares of Vertiv since they were around $70. made it right around there. So our shares are up 100%. One of our guys in the All In Society Patreon group, Ant, put us on to Vertiv, and we've been holding shares to that since that conversation we had with Ant. They are a partner with NVIDIA and the AI data center build out, servicing the data centers, and then provided that liquid cooling to keep all the chips and everything from overheating. So it looks like we're past what most analysts on average are saying shares are projected to potentially be. But who knows? We've heard a lot of information about money being thrown into data centers. These estimates could be a lot lower, and maybe this stock moves closer to $180 to $200 sooner rather than later. Amazon, Netflix. We were talking about Netflix. If you can get around 1150, that was great. So Netflix jumped off of that, even after Elon has been kind of putting pressure on the shares and telling people to cancel their Netflix. And Robinhood. Robinhood was getting beat up, but definitely that was a company we had before the dip in April, and we sold out of it to buy shares of other companies like Meta, companies of like some more shares of Apple. I think we added on to NVIDIA, added on to Amazon, and we missed that run when it ran hot, but we got it around, I want to say, 90 or $100 and been riding it up since then. So we're happy to get back in. We didn't get the entire run, but we did jump in. So that'll be it. Make sure you jump in the Patreon and get you some Uber shares.